What's up, everybody? Oh, there's already people hanging out. Tyler, Anita, hey guys. We are one, Frankie. So yeah, I'm not in the studio today. We had to access the wall behind the studio to repair a leak in the wall. So we're in the beautiful outdoors of Sedona today. And yeah, there's a bunch of things I want to talk about, but this is going to be just pretty casual and loose. But we're going to cover the meme coins that have been going on lately, Shiba and Doge, and what's going on with Elon tonight with SNL and what that could potentially do to all that, and then kind of deeper levels of the meme coin culture and where I see that going, and meme versus utility and all that stuff. And then we're going to talk about Mr. Poole and Mr. Poole departing and getting banned on Twitter finally. I don't know, I say finally, I guess because it feels like a step in a process that we're going through. And we're going to talk about Rosie Rios, who is the new member that just got added to Ripple's board of directors, who is the former treasury head. And we're going to talk about the 10 billion XRP that is apparently just missing in circulation all of a sudden, and what that might mean. And we'll talk about a couple other things, including the Sedona family of light gathering. So let's just start with that. If you guys did not see my last video from last week, I announced I didn't put an official announcement out. I'm gonna make its own video and everything once we get a few more things solidified, but we've been on the DL kind of announcing that we are doing, when I say we, I mean my wife Alexis and I, we're gonna be putting on a conference in Sedona, a 3-day conference with all sorts of awesome speakers that cover the themes of mind, body, and spirit. So Friday is gonna be based around mind, and it's gonna be about primarily red pill and disclosure topics, and the mental side of awakening, and remembering and realizing all these truths that were hidden from us, a lot of the mind. And then Saturday, we're going to go into more spirit, and it's going to be the galactic and cosmic spirit, and a lot of people, speakers talking about that side of things, and names you guys will recognize, but I'm not going to, I might let you guys know a few people, but we're still confirming speakers, so I don't want to put them all out there yet. And then Sunday is going to be the health, body-oriented day. So it's going to be body health, conscious health, and science. And Alexis will be speaking on the Schumann resonance and cosmic energies and how it affects our bodies that day. And we're going to have speakers talking about health and wellness and that kind of stuff. So yeah, that's going to be in late July, probably the 23rd to the 25th, maybe the weekend after, but that's in flux right now. I'm going to have a meeting with the venue on next week, and we did get official confirmation from the venue though that we are a green light, and now we just have to meet and settle all the details. But yeah, it's really good news. Everything is really falling into place really divinely with this gathering. And again, it's going to be called the Sedona Family of Light Gathering, and it's going to be here in the Red Rocks of Sedona, Arizona. And I guess just to name a few people that I have confirmed for sure, Kate Awakening will be there, Alara of Sirius will be there, hopefully Tyler from Journey to Truth will be able to make it out, Matthew Mornian is going to be there, and then some Sedona locals. I haven't said this yet, but Rion and Alexander, if you guys know them, who do videos here in Sedona and their own conference and everything, which we helped them out with this year. They have agreed to come and speak, and so they're going to be on the Cosmic Day. And we're going to have local businesses. If you guys know Sedona Waterworks, who are good friends of ours, they're going to be involved, and there's going to be conscious vendors, and yeah, it's going to be sweet. So that, I will have more info out in the coming days and weeks. And if you are already convinced that you want to come, you're like, yeah, 100%, I already want to go, and you want to get a super early bird ticket, we have super early bird tickets available for a huge discount. It's going to really be more than half off, more well, we'll just say it's going to be significantly cheaper than when the actual donation registration tickets drop. So if you want to do that, that's $111 for the pre-sale early bird, and then once we actually launch the official lineup and the schedule and the website and all that, then we'll have the normal prices. And across the board, if you pay with crypto, it's going to be significantly cheaper. So when the actual donations go live, we're trying to encourage everything with cryptocurrency and sovereignty of finances, and really getting us in that direction, away from the banks, away from PayPal, away from all these old systems, which are like, just keeping us in that old energy of the Babylonian money magic system. And so I'm trying to push the new and the sovereign. And so if you decide to pay with cryptocurrency, you will be rewarded with a big discount. And details on that will be coming too. I'm going to make videos to make it super easy for people who don't have crypto and maybe wouldn't normally get involved, but it's going to be so much of a discount that you're going to want to do it even if you don't normally do or deal with crypto. So yeah, that's what I'll put out there for that. And let's look at the chat real quick, and then we'll move on to the other stuff. Dates yet, Anita says. Dates tentatively July 23rd to the 25th, but I have not confirmed that with the venue. When I meet with them next week, we're going to confirm dates, but that's the weekend I'm hoping for, or the weekend after that, which would be I guess the 29th through the 1st of August. When moon, says XRP King. I don't know. I guess we'll get into some of those timeline speculations in a little bit here of some of these pool subjects and stuff. Good to see you here, though, man. The chat is a little bit harder to keep up with on the phone. But yeah, this event, it's falling together so easily and coming together so easily, and I haven't had a single doubt the whole way, which is huge, because normally, like, with psychic attacks and all that kind of stuff, but I haven't had any of that. It's been very smooth, and everything's been falling in place. All right, let's get into talking about the meme coins, right? So I say this primarily talking about SHIB, or Shiba coin, Shiba Inu, which is kind of the new Doge in a way that everyone is talking about. Zach Zengod, if you guys follow him, he posted about it last night, I think, or early this morning. And then like right after that, it started to really take off. I initially heard about this like a couple weeks ago when Elon tweeted about Shiba, the dogs, but he wasn't necessarily talking about the coin. But then the coin started to really go off after that when he just tweeted about Shibas. So that was like, I don't know, a month or so ago. And I remember hearing that, was like, yeah, that's interesting. And these meme coins in general are really interesting, because I think a lot of people, especially the people that are, familiar with XRP and utility based and more, especially the people who were here in 2017, which wasn't me. I only really got into this like a year ago, a little more than a year ago. And but those people are, very familiar with the difference between utility and speculative market runs. So just to kind of clarify this again, we are in a market bull run. Sorry, just, I don't know, something's pinging me. Real quick, if you guys would subscribe to the Divine Sovereign Beings backup account in my description. I think it's the only thing down below, just in case they take out this page. If I get one more strike, I'm going to be gone. So subscribe to that backup account. This page could literally go any day now. So if you want to follow me, make sure you follow the Divine Sovereign Beings backup account. But anyway, back to what I was saying. Market. We're in the speculative market cycle bull run, right? So that means that it's just the natural market cycle of the way that these fluctuations and fractals go. So what we're really waiting for with XRP and with the people who are invested in utility coins, like any of the ISO 20022 coins, the Interledger Protocol, like Algorand, Quant, XLM, XRP, XDC, IOTA, just to name a few, or the majority maybe. Those have utility, right? So I see a lot of YouTubers now, like Bearable Bull and other guys, talking about how when the speculation run ends and we go into the utility run, that's when we're really going to see these coins go. At this point, we're just following these market trends, like I'm saying. So we could see the market cycle, the normal market trends, do what they did in 2017, which is find new all-time highs, peak, crash down to a new higher, lower average, and then continue that market cycle, where it's like a bearish for a couple years and then we get another bull run. However, that's not including anything to do with the geopolitical aspects of what are going on with crypto clarity and regulation and all that. So that's where we're seeing, or I'm seeing, a really good timing. You could say a planned timing by white hats, where we're going to get the utility run potentially right at the peak or maybe at the very end of this bull run. But either way, that's speculative. We don't know. We don't know when the utility is really going to kick in. It depends on the legality of like the regulatory clarity, particularly in the United States. So, that's where like a lot of these seasoned investors are coming from when they look at these meme coins and they're like, well, this is, BS. Like this coin is a bubble, whether it's Doge or Shiba or Hoj or Poo Coin or Cum Rocket, that's a real coin, by the way. If you guys haven't heard of that, Cum Rocket was like lots of people were talking about it. Another just random meme coin. I think one of my friends told me he was investing. He's like, he'll find these coins really early before they even become memes. And he found, I think it was Poo Coin actually, and put like $2 in it. And he said it became like 47K, in a couple weeks or something. And there actually wasn't enough liquidity to pull out that 47K, ironically. But yeah, he's the one that kind of showed me that there was something more going on with these meme coins, And what I mean by that is like, there are like little treasure. It's like there's hidden treasures in some of these meme coins. And I think that is for a reason, planned by the universe almost. It's like the people that have been, kind of harping on Doge or whatever meme coin randomly are starting to kind of see that there is some virtue to some of these random coins that people like flood their collective consciousness with and, invest their money in or whatever. And I've seen, like empathic, more spiritually aligned people who are new to crypto kind of be following their own intuition with random coins, and other people might come along and be like, oh, well, you're an idiot for investing in that. Like, that doesn't have utility. That's not going to blow up, whatever. And I just want to kind of say that I feel like there is a validity to following that intuition per each of us, and that each of us, we are on our own different timelines, and what one person might get as an intuition for a certain investment literally might not be the same successful timeline that another person who doesn't get that intuition experiences, if you know what I mean. So I really feel like there's magic to these meme coins, where when people open themselves to the magic and they get really strong intuitive hits, either from their higher selves or spirit or God or whatever. And, I had that happen. I'll say in particular, there was this one coin called Pikachu coin that this friend of mine was like, yeah, I feel like this is going to be big. Just, throw whatever in it and it might, surprise you. And so what I tend to do is I will go to my oracle cards or tarot cards, or I have like a silver coin that I flip that I do a meditation on yes or no type decisions. And over and over, it was telling me that there's something about the Pikachu coin was going to be successful and that we should invest in the Pikachu coin. So I put like $100 in it. And this was like, I don't know, maybe 2 months ago or something. And then that one took off like crazy. I had to wait for a while. Like, it went up a couple 100% and then crashed back down. And then everything just kept telling me, wait. And then my $100 turned into like, at its peak, like $4,000, which I could have pulled out if I wanted to. But the coin was still telling me like, no, just wait. And my guides were telling me that. So I was like, okay, I have patience. And, worst case scenario, I lose it. And that's okay. And you have to be okay with that kind of thing when you're making these kind of risks. But I just stuck with it, and it, like I said, at its peak so far, it was at 4K from the 100 that I invested, and then it came down to like a bottom of like 600 at its lowest, which was still pretty high, and now it's coming back up again. And it's, if you looking at the charts, it's looking like there's a potential that there could be another stage of the breakout. So I don't know, I'm not giving financial advice in any sense, not saying you should invest in this. Just saying this is my experience with like a random coin that my intuition was like, yeah, you should put money in that. And if you get that feeling, about whatever, it could be good to listen to that and don't necessarily let your mind logically make you doubt what your intuition may be telling you. And that goes for anything in life, right? This is just kind of a random experience anecdote of that. Where do you buy Pikachu coin? I had to get it on Uniswap. I think that's actually the only place you can get it is Uniswap. So unfortunately, I really don't like Ethereum, and Uniswap is all Ethereum based, so you have to deal with that. But it was worth it. Like, I put 117 in, and I had to pay like $50 of that was fee. So it was only like 70 something dollars that I actually got in, which, in the moment kind of stings because you're like, oh, but with the returns that it's already made, it well, compensated for that. Yeah, is with the Pikachu coin, I think they might have it on there as an official listing now, but when I bought it, because it was super early, I had to manually put in like the codex, I guess, for what the coin was. But now I think it might just be on there. Oh, Telcoin. Yeah, so two other coins, well, actually, I'll get to Telcoin in a sec. Let me talk about Shiba first. So I guess we already kind of talked about it. I don't know if there's much more to say about it other than that Elon is going to be going on SNL tonight and hosting, and there's a lot of hype around the potential of him bringing up Doge or Shiba or something else. And so it's just like speculation at this point. People have really strong emotional feelings one way or the other. Like, I don't know, I'm just kind of observing, and like, yeah, I put a little bit in Shiba this morning because my intuition was telling me to, even though it was like 300% up already by the time I had woken up and was like looking at it. But yeah, we'll see. That's like money that I'm okay if I lose. It was only like $100 that I put in there. But yeah, the Shiba thing's interesting. So Telcoin and what's the other one? Stronghold are two coins with utility that I wanted to bring up in contrast to these meme coins. So Telcoin, and I want to say I haven't actually bought either of these yet. I've been just kind of tight on fiat recently, and I haven't wanted to sell my XRP into these, so I'm waiting until like a little more fiat comes in for me before I invest in these. But for you guys, these are coins that I would invest in, and they are Telcoin, TEL, and Stronghold, I believe SHX. So Telcoin is, a lot of people are calling it the retail version of XRP. It's very similar to XRP, I guess, in its technological capabilities. I haven't actually done a ton of research on it yet, but I have gotten the ping that it is going to be a good project. It is a good project, and it will be probably a quality thing to invest in. And the other one is called Stronghold, and they are working with Ripple and with Flare, and they're a name that has been kind of going around and becoming viral on Twitter and the different aspects of the kind of underground crypto community, I guess you can say. And Stronghold is looking very promising in the fact that they're working with Flare and Ripple. So yeah, recommend those two, at least to look into research. All right, someone says, why do you think XRP lost 10 billion in supply? So that is one thing I was going to talk about. Let's go ahead and jump to that. From what I could tell, I didn't dive a super ton into trying to figure this out, but from what I saw, what actually happened was that on CoinMarketCap, the circulating market supply for any given coin is listed, right? So XRP's circulating supply was like 40 something billion. It was like 47 billion or something like that. And the total supply is just short of 100 billion because there's about 50 billion in escrow. So the 40 something billion all of a sudden became 30 something billion, and it was like 10 billion was just gone. And no one, as far as I've seen, unless something is broke today, no one really knows what's going on. I know Moon Lambo made a video, and I'm sure other people have too, kind of calling out conspiracy theorists and basically saying, oh, this is nothing weird. This is just probably a glitch on CoinMarketCap because on other sites it wasn't showing that. But the one thing that really does make me kind of think that it could be something more, and it's not really that big of a sign, but the other account, and we'll get into the pool thing, the other account that got deleted besides Mr. Pool was called Cryptomaniac. And I think it could have been the very last post, but one of the last posts from Cryptomaniac, which is a post that Mr. Pool continuously likes posts from. Cryptomaniac posted about the 10 billion XRP that was missing. And so that kind of like gave it a validation in a way, at least from the Pool perspective, as far as it not being a glitch. But we don't know at this point. Could be a glitch, could not be. I have a feeling like it's got to be something more. Could be potential settlement with the SEC. There was supposed to be that meeting that happened, I believe it was supposed to happen yesterday or today, with a private meeting within the SEC to talk about like litigations and different aspects of the lawsuits that they're involved in on private matters. And I think that was pushed back until the 14th, pretty sure. So I don't know, maybe something happened with the potential circulating supply and a settlement or something of the sort. But I don't think Ripple is going to settle in that lawsuit. I've never felt like Ripple was going to settle. I feel like they're in it to win the whole thing, and that was the plan from the beginning. Okay, since we brought up Pool, let's talk about Mr. Pool. So basically, Mr. Pool was finally, I say finally again, was officially deleted from Twitter, banned by Twitter. And it's kind of like, you know, when Trump was banned from Twitter, it's like kind of a signaling flag of stuff, timeline shifts moving forward, if you know what I mean. And the last Pool post was a series of stringer digits in the form of XX on one line, XXX on another line, XXXX on the fourth line, and the fifth line, 4 X's, but with numbers alternating between 5202. And what many, including myself, are theorizing this is potentially indicating is digits of potential price numbers for XRP. This is kind of what Pool has led us to believe in the past when posting the like XX and the stringer of digits. And Cryptomaniac also made a similar post a couple of weeks ago where he was like, XRP will be at, I believe, XX, meaning double digits, to I think triple or quadruple digits by the end of this year. Who knows if that's going to happen? You know, predictions don't necessarily work out the way that we expect them to. But with this, it would look like it's saying double digits and then triple digits and then quadruple, meaning, you know, in the thousands as far as price. And then the last stringer with the 5202 and the X's in between, if you reverse that, it could be 2025 with a 5-digit XRP, meaning like $10,000 plus in 2025. Maybe that's what that means. I don't know. I really don't try. I try to not think too much about dates and things like that anymore, because people get very caught up on when things are going to happen, and it can take away from a lot of the experience and the magic of the situation, and realizing that we are the creators and we're creating the timeline. And when you rely on a date, it just kind of gives your power away in a sense, unless you're the one creating that date and you know full within yourself that you are the one creating that date. But if it's like an external thing, like giving your power away to some timeline thing that you don't know if it's actually going to happen. I think that was a big lesson with this you know, election, and the way it turned out, and the way that a lot of people thought it was going to turn out, including myself. And like, yeah, realizing that we have to look within and realize that we are the ones we've been waiting for. This is a shirt, or a sweatshirt, hoodie, and shirt that we have available on our website, on our Teespring. This is our most popular design. We are the ones we've been waiting for. If you want to get one, they're on our website, which is divinesovereignbeings.com. Unfortunately, it's not in the description below because I didn't have enough time to give a full description link, but if you go to any of my old videos, it'll be in the description, or just go to divinesovereignbeings.com. And yeah, put one of these on there. We are the ones we've been waiting for, you know? It's true. Like, a lot of people say we are 17, or we are Mr. Poole, or we are any of these things. There is a lot of truth to that I think that we will uncover in the future. Like, literal truth to how a lot of these quantum things played out. And future proves past to a degree that, you know, a lot of us would have never thought possible. That's what I think's coming. I don't know. I'm not trying to act like I know. I feel like I feel like our minds are going to be blown beyond what we can even fathom, in a good way. Someone says, I want that shirt. Yeah, so it's available on like shirts, tank tops. Pretty sure we have a baby shirt on there. Lots of different designs. And we have different types of designs on there too. We have Schumann resonant shirts. We have samurai shirts. We have full disclosure shirts. We have a lot of cool designs that we've made. What a time to be alive, says XRP King. That's right. Who's making money off these meme coins? Do you mean on like on a big level, like on a big money level? It's a good question to ask. I mean, even aside from crypto, just a random thought, I'm thinking about how Elon Musk went from like 20 billion in net worth to 120 billion over the course of a year during COVID, which to me is a huge sign that it's part of a white hat plan with the financial system and all that kind of stuff going on. But yeah, there's a lot of, I think, plans going on with crypto and who's investing in what coins on deeper intelligence and white hat, you know, kind of levels. I will get one for my 2-year-old baby for sure. If the baby design isn't on there, send me a DM or an email and I will put it on there, because it's pretty easy. I just have to make a quick edit on the website. All right, what's next? Rosie Rios. All right, so this was a really cool one and really especially rang true to our particular path and Rose synchronicities on our path. And my only tattoo that I have is of a rose. Roses have, oh, a hummingbird just flew by. I don't know if that got in frame, but he was like right here. Roses have always been a big symbolism for me and Alexis both. And Mr. Poole and Archilect both have, over the past year, posted a lot of things of roses. So there's a lot of rose symbolism in, even outside of this space, just in life, a lot of rose symbolism right now. And so this woman, Rosie Rios, she was the former treasurer from, I believe, 2007 to 2013, I think. Might have been 2009 to 2013. But under Obama, which, you know, we'll get into a little bit, what that might mean. But under Obama, she was the treasurer, the head of the treasury, the treasurer, and she just joined Ripple's board of directors. I forget what position, but she just joined their board of directors in the middle of this SEC lawsuit, despite everything that's, you know, happening on the surface that the MSM wants you to think means that it's going to be terrible for them and you shouldn't invest and blah, blah, blah. Former head of the Treasury for the United States joins their board of directors. If that's not bullish for Ripple and XRP, I don't know what is, because that's like, you know, it's very obvious at this point, I think, what is going to be going on. And her whole thing is about creating the money of the future. If you watch interviews with her, I saw one clip where she explains that she was the head of a committee who combined communications between the Fed, meaning the Federal Reserve, the Secret Service, and the Treasury, I think. And the Secret Service, interesting, because she didn't say the White House, she said the Secret Service. And I think it was the Treasury. And she's like one of the only people who's qualified to give professional advice on that level on I think the way she put it was financial technologies of the future or something like that. So she's very aware of what's going on. And then she just joined the board of directors. And then on top of that, her name is Rosie Rios, and then all the rose symbolism. So it's it's very straightforward. I think the symbolism is becoming obvious for people that don't even really, maybe look that close at this stuff. And then to kind of just touch on the fact that she worked under Obama, because I know on the surface that can be, we look at connections. That's part of doing this research and stuff, is looking at who's connected to who. And of course the 17 movement was really, kind of pioneered that on a mainstream level of the masses, like looking at the connections between all these individuals. And I think we're getting to a new level in the game and in our uncovering of the game, where we're realizing that it's not as surface level as we have made, that we might have been led to believe. As far as, for example, Rosie Rios working under Obama, for example. If you're a surface level researcher, you might go, okay, Obama, we know what Obama was up to. If you're familiar with, if you've done all the research on that and you've been down that rabbit hole, you might go, well, anyone connected to Obama is clearly not, benevolent or a white hat or working for the greater good. And that's where we kind of are being challenged to look on new levels, both in terms of the individual and their character and potential double agent and 12D chess type movements, where white hats, purposely position themselves into positions of power, even under black hat control and administrations. And we wouldn't have known that. We still don't even know who's who. And that's part of the 12D chess, is that even on their level, they don't know who's who. They don't know who's, completely, the dark doesn't know, all of who's working for the light, and vice versa. There's anonymity and double agents, triple agents, that kind of thing. And so that's a big part of it. And then also puppets, and understanding what 17 said, which was that if we arrested or took out all of the people that were guilty of the crimes that have been committed against the United States and against humanity, we wouldn't have a government anymore. Like, they would just be gone. So deals have had to be made. And on that level, some people have been freed, right? There are good people who were pure souls, in a sense, and they got roped into these negative groups through blackmail, through whatever. They may have even committed terrible things, but on a deeper level, they were good people, and they were roped into that negative system. And so a lot of those people were just freed and were allowed to, I think, just kind of be led out back into the system, but in a monitored way, where they ensured that they were going to be working for the light now. And then there's pure puppets, where they were, whatever you want to think a puppet is, whether it's a clone or some kind of programmed entity, biological, engineered life force type thing. There are those type of beings that are out there in these positions too. And I think that, there's an obvious difference when you look at someone like Rosie Rios and when you look at someone like Joe Biden, and you look at the level of consciousness behind the vessel, and, the energy that's speaking through it, and they're completely different kinds of beings. So even though both worked under Obama and both are connected to all that, you can see on the surface level there's a difference in the energy field. And clearly, as we've talked about here, like, Biden is not a genuine being. Whether he's a clone or a programmed life force, he's like not the soul that was that being, has moved on from this plane and is no longer involved in this game. Whereas Rosie Rios, I get a very present, she's still very much in the body and in the vessel, and very empowered, like lioness kind of energy, which makes me lean towards her being a white hat the entire time. So just to kind of touch on that with the connection to Obama. And if anyone else has anything to add on that, I'd love to hear. Jace, what's happening? Says Smokey. What do you mean? Just watched JC's video where she was dousing, and it came out that Biden died by execution November 2020. I could resonate with that. I don't know when November 2020 could have been. I definitely feel like he was removed from the public sector before November 2020, but maybe he wasn't actually, you know, maybe he didn't actually move on from this plane until then, like he was in some kind of military custody. I gotta watch JCK. A lot of people have been telling me about her and her work, so thank you for bringing that up again. Do I think 17 will post again? I don't know. Does it matter though? If we're reliant, or like if we have an emotional expectation on that happening to fulfill us in some way, then I think even more so it's not going to happen. But maybe if we get to a place collectively where we don't need it anymore, then it will just happen, because that's how I've learned that these kind of things work as far as manifesting the things that you want. There's a big test. There's always a big test in letting go of the thing before it's truly allowed to enter your life in a like harmonious way, from my experience. Watching from Italy. Awesome, Terry. Welcome. I would love to visit Italy. Of course, T is still president. I would say it does look like that is the case, in one form or another. Yeah, she asked that? That's cool. Nice. Yeah, I mean, that's what I vibe with. It makes sense. It doesn't feel like it ever really, you know, we were never really like abandoned. It was always just an illusion. SEC moved the Ripple case to May 13th, which is National Ascension Day. Thank you for bringing that up. Oh my gosh, I totally forgot about that. Yes, so the 13th is literally National Ascension Day. Man, I don't even know what to say about that. That's pretty crazy. That's pretty wild. That's gonna be an exciting day. Man, what day of the week is that? 13th? That's gonna be very, very interesting. The energies lately have been crazy too, guys, on kind of an energy level. I don't know if you guys have been feeling it, but I've been seeing like all the relationships in, you know, around me, like what the relationships that I see and observe, everybody's getting tested right now. And not just like, you know, significant other relationships, but any kind of relationship, parental relationship with your kids, with your family, with your loved one, with your animals. Like, it's like waves and energies of purity are coming in and like really flushing out the lower density junk and plaque that is kind of, you know, inhibiting our systems and our bodies. And I've been noticing that, and I want to just kind of put that out there. If you've been going through like some intense relationship, you know, struggles or obstacles or whatever, I'm noticing a lot of people going through it. So you're not alone. It's not because there's something wrong with you or your partner. You know, I guess I don't know what's going on with you in particular, but I can tell you that energies are moving through, and that these are all just like tests and ways that we are being taught to purify our field and our vessels and our relationships and our chakras and it's like a cleanse. And this past week has been really intense for that. But hopefully that means that good things are about to come, because what I've also realized in my personal journey is that kind of stuff, like that intensity of the shadow work and the cleansing, usually it peaks right before something amazing happens that balances it out, like an amazing event in your life where you're filled with joy, like the opposite emotion, where you're just like, oh my God, is this even real? Like, how can this be real? Which I can think of, you know, a couple things that would create that kind of emotional response in people, whether it's financial or political or whatever, that, you know, we could be leading up to in the collective consciousness in the coming days or weeks, that maybe there's this collective purge preemptively happening to kind of invite these higher energies in so we can really integrate them. The darker the shadows, the brighter the light. Yeah. Yeah, and it's just like, it's not like you have to embody both, but it's like, you know, the more that we bring to the surface and acknowledge the shadows that are already within us, you know, usually dormant and unconscious, in a sense that they're there and they're interacting with us, but we're usually unconscious of how they're interacting and impeding our day-to-day lives. And you can just think of it kind of like plaque coming off of your body, and like when you do the shadow work and that density comes out, it literally makes room for higher energies of light and frequency to like enter your vessel, and then you just like feel better, you feel lighter, you feel stronger, you feel mentally more acute and enabled, you feel more loving, you feel like you can speak your truth more, you feel like you can see the truth more. But it's all about like having the strength to acknowledge and see and give love to the darkness within you, instead of running from it, which is what we've so often been taught and programmed to do in our lives, is run from those inner traumas and darkness, whatever they be. It's like, oh, just suck it up and move on, or, you know, just walk away from it and never think about it again. But we actually have to like see it, you know, see it, honor it, love it, and then, you know, let it float away. And then you can be free from the density of that. So, what else do we have on the list? We talked about the 10 billion XRP that is supposedly gone. One of the things I wanted to show you guys is I got my Uphold card in the mail, which is pretty sweet. Make sure there's no financial information on that side. So this just came in the mail, and this is amazing. This is like a portal of technology. So when I got it, the front literally, the address is 1717, or no, sorry, 717, 717. It was like 717 Market Street in San Francisco or something like that is Uphold's address. And before I realized it was Uphold, I was like, oh, 717, that's a cool number. Like, that's a synchronistic number. I bet this is going to be a cool piece of mail. And ironically, I also received some mail that was not intended for us. It was for someone else, but it was called it was some kind of financial thing. It was like InQ Financial or something like that. But it was like a giant Q on the piece of mail right next to the Uphold card with the 717. And anyway, I thought that was cool. And then their slogan on the mail said, it was something like spending the unspendable, or creating a path to spend the unspendable, or something like that. And so if you don't know what I'm talking about, this is for if you have an account with Uphold.com or the Uphold app, which is how you can buy, it's a cryptocurrency exchange to buy crypto. They have an option where you can get a debit card, a MasterCard debit card, where you can spend any of your cryptos on your Uphold account. And you literally are able to flip through and pick any random crypto you have on there to spend. So you can spend XRP, you can spend Doge, you can spend US dollars, you can spend their digital gold, I'm pretty sure, or silver, XLM, you know, whatever. And, you know, the alternative is going to like crypto.com. But the thing is, with crypto.com, you know, it's a good opportunity. It was kind of the only one I know of besides the Uphold card that exists to be able to spend crypto. But with crypto.com, you have to become a little more invested financially, from what I understand, in like the CRO token, the CRO token, which is crypto.com's native token, like to really receive, you know, the kind of benefits. And I guess it's, you know, that's if you want the cashback rewards. Maybe if you were to just get the basic card, it's essentially the same as this, but I didn't have to deal with crypto.com and all that. I just wanted to like keep it easy. And so with Uphold, just being able to send you a card within a week, and, you know, you can just start using it. Although personally, I'm not, I'm not going to use it yet. maybe I'll go buy like, I don't know, a smoothie or something just for fun to test it. But I don't want to spend any of my XRP. And I think, you know, I was trying to get one of these cards like months ago, and it just was having issues. They wouldn't send it to me because they kept saying like they didn't have my tax number or something. And then just one day it worked. But for months I couldn't do it. And I think it was probably Spirit, like not wanting to give me a portal to be tempted to spend the XRP and other crypto preemptively. And, you know, it's a big temptation, right? Like you can see these gains go up and you're like, whoa, I just made, you know, 1,000% or whatever gains on my investment. Like you could be tempted to spend it, and maybe that is your path, you want to spend it. But for me, I know the potential and the actuality of what is to come when this system is fully implemented, and I don't want to be tempted to spend any of it because we're just barely beginning. It's like if you were growing a garden and you wanted to try to, you know, harvest your garden when it just barely started coming out of the ground. Like you see those gains, right? You see the sprouts pushing up, they're coming out of the ground, and you want to spend it. But if you are patient and you let the garden grow, you're going to have a much more bountiful harvest. And so I like the Uphold card because it gives me that option. And but at the same time, I don't want to necessarily use it as an open portal so much. But to each their own, you know, that's just my personal path. But to be able to have it when, you know, we moon, and not have to worry about cashing out and doing all that, and just be able to have it available there is really nice. It took like 3 months to receive my Uphold card, and Crypto.com just as long. Dang. Did you actually get your Crypto.com card, Earthworth? I think it's badass to use it with big corporations. Send a message to them that we're changing the powers that be. Amazon, Target, Walmart. It's literally my bank. I don't have much money. It's all XRP. That's awesome. I feel the same way. I treat XRP like my bank. And that's a big reason, the same thing you're saying, you know, teaching a lesson to these corporations or just showing them our sovereignty. That's why with this Sedona family of light gathering that we're going to be having in late July in Sedona, Arizona, I'm trying to make as much as possible it a crypto run event on the financial side of things. So that means I'm going to be encouraging people to donate for registration via crypto of any kind. I'm going to encourage XRP, but I want it really to be open to various kinds of crypto so that it's really a more open space. And I want to pay the speakers that we're going to be having in cryptocurrency, which I'm not going to force them to accept crypto, but I'm definitely going to encourage them to and show them the advantages of that. And then we're going to be encouraging vendors who are there to accept cryptocurrency as a form of payment. So we're not going to be like flat out telling people they are forced to do crypto, because I'm not trying to be like, you know, totalitarian. And, you know, I want it to be open, and I want people to be able to flow where they feel comfortable with their finances. And but, you know, pushing the sovereignty of the financial space and of us being our own banks. And we don't have to use PayPal anymore. We don't have to use Chase, JP Morgan, Wells Fargo. You know, personally, I don't use the big banks at all. I have a credit union, but even the credit union and PayPal that I use, I'm just like, it doesn't feel good. Like it doesn't. I think a good example is what Zach Hasengod brought up in some of his videos, which is that there is a physical kind of a cursed energy to US dollar and fiat money, where at least in our experiences, and other people too have give testimonies of this, when you know, when experimenting with holding money in cryptocurrencies. Hey, what's up, dude? You came here at just the right time. When experimenting with money in cryptocurrencies, people quickly find that there is a difference in the primal energies behind the money system, and that when you hold money, when you start putting money in crypto, you kind of find that when you're holding your money in the traditional banks or PayPal, like these random things will come up that you have to spend it. It's like the universe is trying to it's just fun. It's siphoning the money away from there. But then the more that we started to put money in XRP and other cryptos that we feel like had this like God etheric energy, 5D energy to them, the more that money starts flowing in abundantly from like random areas. And just on a core level of the energy behind, if you're gonna hold your finances in the traditional system or in this new system, right? The traditional one, you're trusting these corporate entities. You're trusting the very entities that we all know are complicit in all the crimes against humanity, especially financially, that have been going on for so long. And so it's very interesting on a personal level to experiment with that and realize that there is this energetic abundance that starts to come in when you shift to particular forms of finances that are, you know, more based and aligned with God's source truth. And it, you know, we've been talking about that on the Knights of the Round Table, that it's you know, the God currency in a way. It's the God particle currency, and not just XRP, but XRP being the core of it, and you know, the entire interledger protocol and the QFS, essentially, if you want to call it that, that is being set up around this. They are aligned with core frequencies of abundance and truth and service to others that the Babylonian money magic systems were not created with. And that's why they call them Babylonian money magic systems, because, you know, there's an all-seeing eye on the dollar. It siphons your energy. It's crazy. Tyler, I canceled my Chase account and switched to Jace. Jace Bank. Good. I encourage that. Shout out David. As in David Schwartz, the man. Yeah, so if you guys didn't see the thing with the Ride It, if you don't follow like the round table, which if you don't, you need to, every Sunday night, 7 p.m. we do the round table, the Knights of the Golden Age on Zen God's YouTube channel, and there's just an amazing group of people that gather there every week. It's usually kind of a couple different people every time, but there's definitely a core group, and it's just been a great place to share information and connect with a larger group of people for all of us and bring in all this new energy. Shoot, I forgot where I was going with that. What was I gonna say? Oh, Ride It. So our friend Graf, he was on medicinal mushrooms, I think, and he was listening to frogs, and instead of ribbit, he was hearing them say Ride It, and so it's kind of become this meme. And then David Schwartz, I think yesterday or the night before last, posted a picture of him essentially like riding a giant log, and then it spurred all these different memes that people started making. But yeah, that's the kind of TLDR for the Ride It story. Ride It meme. XLM is the stepchild. XRP is the greatest. That's what Zach said in response to, what do you think of XLM compared to XRP? Personally, I kind of agree. I think XLM has a lot of potential. I think that it is going to be, you know, probably right up there with XRP. Not as valuable as far as the price of it, but there's also something weird about XLM that I still don't totally understand. You know, the whole Jed McCaleb, if you aren't familiar, the guy who founded XLM, he left Ripple. It was kind of weird terms that they left on, but there's a lot of weirdness in this whole space, and there's a lot of cover-ups of energy and 5D, 12D chess, and so it's really hard to say what exactly is going on with XLM. If XLM was like a counter to XRP to try to distract from it, or if that was just the cover and it's really like a backup for it, or, you know, a stepbrother, a brother, sister in a way. But every time that my mind has been like, oh, maybe I'll buy some XLM, just intuitively I go with XRP instead. And I have a little bit of XLM, but really a very small amount compared to XRP. XDC, I prefer to put money in over XLM. I put XDC second to XRP. Alexis on Ascension Diary says the Schumann resonance over Russia amplified to a 110 at 10 p.m. and 12 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. That's crazy. That's probably a lot of part of the energy that I was just talking about with like relationships and interpersonal relationships and all that stuff being tested right now, and all this energy. Yeah, the Schumann resonance that's crazy. A 110 in amplitude. That's really high. And that's not frequency, just to clarify for you guys. That is amplitude of the frequency, meaning the strength of the frequency itself. I gotta get a better stand so it's not so bobbly. So one of the other things I wanted to cover was just kind of talking about Flare and Flare Finance again, and covering any other random questions that you guys may have around that. So Flare is still set, as far as I'm aware, to go live in late June, early July. One interesting thing that I'm seeing is that this beta, which was, you know, they've been trying to do the Flare Finance beta for months now, and every time there's just something like they have to reset the network, or too many people flood in and it's too much. And it's been this way for the past couple weeks now, that they've been saying it's gonna potentially be any day now that it comes back. But we're getting down to the wire, you know, we're getting to the point where the network is potentially launching next month, June. This beta is, you know, could be, maybe it's not gonna happen. Maybe it's gonna happen right before the launch. Like, I have a feeling that the launcher on Flare, they have a plan for it in terms of hyping it up a lot more than it currently is. And I have a feeling that Elon is somehow gonna be involved in that, and it's gonna be related to Doge, I think. I think Doge is gonna be the way that the majority of non-crypto people end up getting into Flare. And that was the plan with bringing Doge onto Flare in the first place, in my belief. And I do think Doge is going to be really successful. I did sell all mine for XRP, but I do think that with the way that Flare is treating Doge, and Elon has been talking about Doge, that Doge is going to have a place and be a worthy investment for people that are called to it. Maybe not anywhere as near as much of a return of investment as XRP or other coins, but for people that are called to Doge, it's still going to make them money, I think. Hopefully. That damn Schumann needs to let me sleep. Yeah, I've been having issues sleeping the past couple nights too. How does XRP go to 3 or 4 digits when it is to make transactions next to zero cost? I don't know if I understand your question. One thing that I can say is that a 3 or 4 digit XRP makes it much easier for the financial institutions to use it as a bridge asset between large institutions. And what I mean by that, and just like a basic example, is if they were going to send $1 million right now, it would take just under 1 million XRP. But if XRP were, say, $100,000, then it would only take 10 XRP. And for, as you know, as far as how much they have to hold and liquidity and all that, they would need to hold much less and work with much less in asset terms per coin if it was at a higher price. So that is actually one thing that I believe David Schwartz has brought up in terms of the benefit to the institutional use of it at a higher price is actually beneficial to those using it, and not vice versa. XRP 158 down. Is that what it's at right now, 158? I sold my Doge on May 1st. think I sold mine before that. I sold mine when it went up to like, when it peaked at 40 cents, but I sold it at like 36. I don't regret it though. What is your strategy for Flare? Staking, voting incentives, DeFi apps, and etc. All of it, I guess. I guess at this point in time, with what I'm familiar with the system, my plan is to, unless something changes in what I can tell is the risk and all that, my plan is to immediately mint my XRP into FXRP through the Flare networks. And that doesn't include Flare Finance, that's just Flare networks. And by having the XRP, by having FXRP instead of XRP, I will be making a percentage of what I'm holding in FXRP. And to my knowledge, that reward system will be larger in the beginning. And so that's my plan. There's going to be a 5% fee on that. So just, kind of plan that if you're aware that if you, however many of whatever F asset you mint, whether it's Bitcoin or XRP or Doge or XLM, you're going to have to pay at this point a 5% fee on that, which is given to the Spark holders, actually. So if you hold Spark, this is another thing that I'm probably going to do, that you can make money on if you hold Spark, which is Flare. You can essentially become an agent and provide your Spark as collateral for the F asset minting system. And so what that means is that 5% fee that you would pay if you are the one doing the minting, that 5% goes towards the people, the agents who are providing their Spark as collateral. So if you're on both sides, you're benefiting from it. You're not necessarily completely canceling out the 5% that you pay on your minting as a Spark holder, because you can't provide your own Spark as collateral. You have to still work within the distinct parts of the system. But you are benefiting on both sides of that if you both provide Spark and your minting F assets. So I'm definitely going to do that. I'm also going to use my Spark. I'm either going to use the voting pools and the voting system to get rewards with voting, or I'm going to delegate my votes if there's a third party that I trust enough and that I feel is, has a good deal with what they're providing in terms of rewards. And then once Flare Finance goes live, which is going to be a month after, what I'm going to do is I'm going to I'm likely going to take my F assets, so my FXRP, and I'm probably going to put my FXRP in a single asset liquidity pool. And what that means is that I'm providing the decentralized exchange of Flare X liquidity whenever people want to do transactions involving FXRP. And that is little to no risk in that pool with the single assets, as opposed to the dual asset pools. Like if you wanted to do FXRP with XUSD, that's a totally different thing. That's where you have to provide equal amounts of each one, and you get a larger reward payout, but you have to basically take on a larger risk of what's called impermanent loss, where if there's a large volatility in the price between the two, you could lose money, but still probably make more, make a net profit, but the opportunity cost could be less, give or take, volatility in dual asset pools. So that's a whole specific thing. I'm sorry if that is confusing and doesn't make sense. Maybe I will do a whole video just about my plan with Flare and what I've learned and what I want to do with it. And then the DeFi apps and all that, yeah, I'm really excited for that. I'm actually really excited to, particularly for Probity, I think it's called. No, maybe I keep messing that up. I think it's called Probity. But there's a decentralized real estate company that is going to be making decentralized real estate smart contract settlement applications on the Flare networks. And I feel like I am going to be involved in that in one way or another. potentially buying a house with it would be really cool. Like, I don't know like how practical that is. I'm not totally sure as far as the intricacies of the smart contracts and how they work with the settlement and how it works with real estate agents and all that. But in my chart before, my Vedic astrology chart, I've been told that real estate and space somehow combined were things that were in my chart. So the idea of decentralized crypto real estate brings me a lot of joy in terms of like sovereignty and being a younger person and not having ever bought my own home, and always kind of being intimidated growing up by like the traditional markets and like getting a mortgage and working with the banks and like, fuck the banks. I don't want to work with the banks. I don't want to get a mortgage. I don't want to deal with any of that. So if I can go and get a loan for my house with crypto smart contracts and pay for it with smart contracts, that would be really, really awesome. And I don't know if that's exactly what they're planning for as far as loans with the real estate, but that is 100% coming at some point. It's just when is it coming is more of the question, but it's gonna happen. Just like the idea I keep telling you guys about, that there's gonna be someone who makes some kind of crypto app where you get paid for walking, and maybe I just need to make that myself. But I feel like that's gonna be a thing 100%, where like there's gonna be some app where they're gonna pay you like per step you take, because everything is gonna be monetized is one theme I keep talking about too. Like the future of the sovereignly, a self-employed person that doesn't have to work for companies and greater organizations is going to be we're going to be paid for whatever your passion is, whatever you're good at. Ikigai, that's a good thing to bring up. Ikigai is the balance. It's a Japanese concept of the balance of 4 purposes in life. And I believe it's, if I get this right, what you love, what you're good at, what you get paid to do, and what is of service to humanity. I think those are the 4 things. And the Ikigai is the balance of all 4 of those. So I believe that crypto and DeFi are really gonna bring out people's Ikigai, because it's gonna give people the opportunity to make money from whatever they do, whether they play video games all day, or they make YouTube videos, or they have an amazing service or talent or skill that they can provide for people. But even the people who are still finding themselves and are, struggling with like what they think they can even provide, the most simple things that we do throughout our day, I firmly believe will be monetized. And I think that's the future. That's the internet of value. It's probably going to be to the point of like, open your fridge and you get paid in some kind of crypto every time you open and close your fridge. Like, I picture it being that abundant on the level of everything we do, we will get paid for in one form. And that's universal basic income. That's true divine universal basic income. That's not like the government is paying you and here's the carrot we're gonna dangle in front of your face and give us all your sovereignty and freedoms because we're gonna give you universal basic income and make it a socialist country. It's like the opposite, right? It's like we don't need the government. Everything is decentralized. We get paid for what we love, what we do, what we can provide of service, and what we're good at. And the balance of that is the Ikigai. So, yeah. Well, we've been going for a little over an hour here. I pretty much hit all the main things I wanted to hit on my list. Do you guys have any other random topics or questions about any of this stuff that you want to hit up this week? Oh yeah, you guys are psyched about the real estate too. Yeah, Proppy, thank you. Yes, Proppy. I keep confusing it with another group called Probity, which is, I think, totally unrelated. Proppy. Yeah, fuck the banks. How about buying real estate in inner space? You can buy NFT land and think Ready Player One, your avatar in a virtual world ready to escape reality. So that already exists with, what's it called? Decentraland, if you've heard of that. If you look up Decentraland, it's basically like RuneScape kind of, but you pay in real money, in cryptocurrency, but connected to the US dollar. It's like hundreds of thousands sometimes for some of these pieces of property in this virtual reality. So basically the concept is you have this virtual reality, and if you buy a piece of land, which is like a square of the game, and there's like, I don't know, like a couple thousand squares or something, and you are, in my understanding, you're the developer of the game for that square. So you make the game whatever you want on that piece of property in virtual land that you own, which is a pretty cool concept. It does kind of freak me out a little bit in terms of like the virtual reality stuff can sometimes feel like moving in the wrong direction, but I also see a function and purpose for it. It's just like, I feel weird when I think about building like if I personally think about spending hours building a world in virtual reality, I'm kind of like, well, what could I have done in real life, in the real, in the real virtual reality that we're in? What could I have actually spent that energy on that maybe is also physical and gets photons in my eyes, and rather than like screen photons? And so I'm kind of torn on the VR. I definitely feel like VR is going to be a part of the future, and I think it's cool with this whole Decentraland thing, but at the same time I'm a little, maybe it's just not for me in particular as far as where I want to spend my time. And I feel like I spend enough time on the internet that I'm already like needing to get detoxed from the internet. There's an app that pays USD for walking. All right, it already exists. Thank you for telling me that. Do you know what it's called? Pleroma says, have you heard about Ask? They're trying to allow you to monetize your own data through browsing habits and ads. That's interesting. It's kind of like Brave a little bit. Brooke says, I would definitely be more motivated to clean my house if I could get paid every time I have to do the dishes or laundry or mop. I feel like it's coming in one form or another. It's just when. Who's gonna make it? I wish I could code, but maybe I don't, because I don't also like sitting in front of the computer for long periods of time. But for the people that are good at that, by the way, if anyone's watching that is a developer, a coder, and you feel like you have the ability to code a trading bot, I have a particular idea for a particular kind of trading bot, where I could tell you exactly what I want it to do. I just don't know how to actually code it. And it's a trading bot particularly in relation to something with Flare networks. And yeah, I'm trying to find someone who is competent in making that kind of program, a bot, a trading program. Preferably someone who's maybe tried it before, but even if you haven't, if you're a developer and you're like, hey, that sounds like a cool challenge, reach out to me and I would love to share the idea, and then we can make the bot and then we can, profit from it, which would be great. And in general, I'm trying to kind of find developers out there, because I have a lot of ideas, but I don't really know anyone that is a developer. Where will Pool resurface, you figure? Twitter? I don't know, maybe Pool won't resurface. Maybe that was it. Maybe it was 17 too. Like, I don't know. I don't expect Pool to come back. It seems like it ended in a very planned way. And if you look at the page now, the background is green, and it's like, the follow the green light, and there were a couple other green things that Pool had talked about, but follow the green light's the one I remember. And then all the other Twitter people who are making their backgrounds either blue or green. Paid for breathing. It's gonna happen. Someone's gonna have a device that you put on here and it measures every respiratory movement. 1 XRP every time you breathe. No, that would be ridiculous. Something small, like a penny for every 10 breaths or something. I don't know how that would actually work out with like who's paying who, but that's the magic of crypto, is things don't always make logical sense in how they work out. You're like, where's all this money coming from? How did this meme just make, you know, thousands of people millionaires. Like, where did that money come from? Or when you think, if can you imagine what it's like being someone like Elon Musk, where a meme coin, I don't know if you guys heard about this, there's a meme coin called Elon Sperm, and the whole like slogan they're doing is "Get Elon's sperm to Mars," and it's ridiculous, but it's also pretty funny. And can you imagine being that influential on his level, where someone is making a meme coin about your sperm, and then that meme coin makes people millionaires, where it's like even just the idea of you is then monetized and can make people abundant. Like, that's a very interesting concept. That would be a lot to process, internalize as a person, when you're like, someone just made a meme about my sperm, and that meme just made a ton of millionaires. Very interesting. Like, what energetically, where did that, where, like, I know where the physical money came from, but energetically, where does that value come from? You know, it's like the value is in the ideas and the heart space, and I don't even know what I'm talking about at this point. It's all woo woo. All right, y'all. Well, I'm gonna go ahead and peace out here. That was a great chat, and hopefully you guys enjoyed being outside and out of the studio. Maybe we'll be back in the studio next week, kind of reorganizing and moving things around with the green screens and stuff. So we'll see. But I like this. I like being outdoors. It's a good vibe, and you guys can hear like the birds and the water and the trees and stuff. So I'm sure that's a nice touch. All right, all. Much love. Please go subscribe to my backup channel, which is in the description. If you would like to contribute or reach out to me in any way, you can go to our website, divinesovereignbeings.com, or you can email at contact@divinesovereignbeings.com or divinesovereignbeings@gmail.com. Those all work. And if you'd like to send a PayPal donation or crypto donation to support the channel, those links are available under my other videos. You just have to go look in the description of one of my old videos. So yeah, much love to you guys all here. I love you all. Please keep late July in your mind for the Sedona Family of Light Conference. Just to kind of give a quick reminder on that before we finish up, it's going to be 3 days of speakers, musicians, vendors, healers. It's going to be centered around mind, body, and spirit, where Friday is the mind, it's the red pill disclosure day. Saturday is the spirit, cosmic, galactic portal day. Sunday is the body, health, science, grounded day. So we're going to start with the mind, work our way into the galactic kind of info, and then ground into the body and really kind of cement it in the physical. I think that's really important. And so far, confirmed speakers, we have Kate Awakening, we have Alar of Sirius, we have Matthew Mornian, we have Rios and Alexander out here in Sedona, a few others that I will let you know about soon, and then a couple of other names that you'd probably recognize that I'm waiting to hear back on. So that's, yeah, just keep updated here on the channel and Telegram if you're not in the Telegram. And that backup channel is going to be really important in case this one gets taken down, and that backup channel is also going to become the main channel likely for the event and all the event videos and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, if you guys feel like you're feeling called to contribute and be a part of this conference, please reach out to me. No guarantees on being able to get you exactly in the role that you want. Like, a lot of people are reaching out wanting to be speakers, and we've already had to like cut down a bunch of speakers on our list. But you never know. Like, there could be things that open up randomly, synchronistically. But more particularly, maybe if you're a vendor or a healer, that's kind of more of where we have spaces open at the moment, or some other kind of service that you feel called to providing. You can just send me an email or reach out to me wherever you can, wherever you know me on social media. You guys can follow me on Instagram at Jace Deface, JayseDeface, and on Telegram It's Cosmic Origins channel and Cosmic Origins chat for the chat. And either one of those will take you there. And yeah, I think that's it. So much love to you guys. Alexis just dropped the email in the chat, so thank you for that. Again, I wasn't able to get the full description links in there because I was doing this on my phone. But yeah. All right, much love, you guys. Peace out. I will see you next Saturday, maybe sooner.